You rarely get a second chance to make a first impression. Hey there, it's Eric J. Olson. I know you've heard that phrase before. You rarely get a second chance to make a first impression. There's lots of variations of the phrase, but the point is that it's a first impression. It's not a second or third or a first impression redo. This is a topic that we talk about a lot here at Array Digital, where you really only get one shot at impressing clients once they sign the deal with you. Now, of course, this goes back to the actual first impression. When, for whatever reason, you start to communicate with them about maybe like helping them out with their digital marketing, at least in our particular case. In yours, it'll be whatever you do. But yes, of course, the first impression, it has nothing to do with actual work. But what I'm talking about here is you only get a first impression of showing the clients the work that you do. And, you know, we could always do better at Array Digital with everything that we do. And there have been times where we have signed a client and we didn't make the best first impression. We didn't communicate enough with them. We didn't ask enough questions, or maybe the first set of marketing collateral that we gave them just didn't quite hit the mark. And of course, we want everything that we do here to be perfect. And that's always the goal. The goal is always perfection. But the reality is that is something that everybody often misses the mark on. So we want to be perfect. We strive for perfection, but I recognize that we're not perfect. And when you're not perfect with a client, and especially when it's the first piece of work that you deliver to them, it really can sour the relationship. And that's happened here a couple of times for sure, where the relationship just didn't start off right. And it was our fault. And it's very, very difficult to recover from that. We also have a concept here of the first 90 days for a client. That experience needs to be special. It needs to be treated special, and you need to do a fantastic job of it. So it's really, really important that you just like hit the nail on the head every single time, the first 90 days, and you don't make any mistakes. If you can do that, if you can really impress your client and they're in the first 90 days and you get past the honeymoon phase, if you will, then there's a very, very high likelihood that they're going to stick with you for a very long time. And if you do end up, and you likely will, dropping the ball once or twice or making a mistake or doing whatever, right? If you have an oopsie, they're going to be a lot more forgiving of you because you have now a track record of doing stellar work. So it's really important that when it comes to the work product, that you put your best foot forward for a new client. Of course, you always want to do high quality work, but it's really extra important in the beginning of that relationship. You have to establish a really good rapport, and you have to establish a baseline for the high quality work that you expect of yourself and your clients expect of you. So be sure the first 90 days, you always do what you can to communicate, possibly over communicate, and make sure they are thrilled with the work that you are doing. How much more successful would you be if you could harness the experience of a group of successful business owners? If you could learn from their successes and avoid mistakes they've made in the past? Array Mentors provides the framework and the guidance to help you find your way, get you on the right path, and accelerate your journey to more money and more success. Check out the details at arraymentors.com.